Dropping down the time frames again, the next time frame to drop to would be the 2-day, and we see that that clarified, right? So the market is set up appropriately to retrace first before before pushing in the price direction, basically, right? So yeah, and then if you look at the 2-day push, it's like, it's quite overextended, to be fair. It's, well, no, yeah, it is, in fact, on the basis of how many more time periods market participants had traded the price in a repetitive fashion over consecutive time periods compared to that of which the previous push had pushed over, or rather had pushed in a certain direction over consecutive time periods. So if you look at this too, okay, doesn't looks like, okay. So this is the previous Saturn push. Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, this is the previous Saturn push, and we see it travelled. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, no. So it travelled 112 points over 2 bars, right? Now this push travelled. That's 3 bars. Okay, well, I don't really know why it's doing that, but yeah, it is more overextended. Okay, well, that's my lesson. Learn not to use fucking tools. Just use my eyes, because that's all you need anyway to interpret the which even is an indicator technically. This is just an indicator of however participants have been trading, like over 4-day, 2-day time periods in this case. Anyway, yeah. So the 4-day is poised lower, but like, we would want to check whether next step lower time frames are set up in a fashion where like they're like pointing towards like over the next 4-day time period. That it's either likely to keep pushing in the 4-day direction or potentially retrace to the OTR region first, the appropriate 4-day OTR region, which is the case relative to 2-day based on how traders trade, like at the lows of the next level push, suggesting they were no longer willing to trade with the prices in the same fashion as before any longer. Dropping down again, we see on the daily it is kind of bearish. Nothing really to go based on, and to be fair, it just looks like it's going to continue lower. I said this in the morning. The 12-hour. But we'll have to keep in mind the reality of those prices that the market's situated at relative to, for example, the 2-day, right? Because, oh my god. Damn. This throat. But yeah, so the daily is poised to keep pushing lower, and with the 12-hour intent to trade set up like this, it's kind of likely that it's going to keep pushing lower, to be fair. But the reality of the prices the market situated at relative to the 2-day are prices that are likely to be perceived as bullish. But next step lower time frames aren't really suggesting that, I have to now say. Which I didn't really say at the morning, I have to admit. But then you get to the 8-hour, and you see that, like, yeah, okay, if the market was bearish, it's likely to keep pushing lower. No, sorry. If the market was bearish, right, relative to the daily in 12, you obviously would want to see the market set up appropriately in order to get on board with the 2 seconds. In order to get on board with that poised bearishness. So you would want to check how next step lower time frames are set up to see whether intent to trade over those time frames is of the sort that's like just likely to continue pushing to the downside, or one second, I'm gonna have to close this door. Fucking hell. Jesus. Shouldn't say that. But anyway. Okay. And anyway, next step lower time frame suggests that that isn't the case, and the market is likely set up in the most appropriate way first, which would be hang on, it's probably right. The daily in one. No. Wrong. I've had a brain fart. Yeah, anyway. So, the daily, if we were to get on board with that direction, we would want to see it set up appropriately, right? So, the monthly, yeah, and then the daily, so the monthly is that, and then that's the daily, and then the month is a month, that's 31. So, the daily, 24 divided by 31. I think that's it. Yeah, no, hang on. I think it's something like that. Yeah, it's the 7 hour. Yeah, so to be fair, if daily, you'd probably want to see like a actually probably would want to see about an 8 hour nice bar close. Maybe it's a 4 actually. Yeah, I'd probably say 4. But anyway, like this push is poised to keep pushing higher, right? And like you would keep track of this retracement, which was what it would be in the context of the daily, pushing to the OTR of that leg, which isn't very big relative to the daily. And you would just keep track of that until market participants trade in a way that says otherwise. But as of this most recent bar close, which is prior to the key time period we trade, it's bearish. Now, same for the 7 hour. Now look at this, you kind of got some short-term structure-ish going on. And then this just looks good to keep pushing to at least around there, you know? Like around the 2626 region at least. Which is just below the opener here, which to be fair would make sense to push into here, and it didn't get anywhere close. So yeah, anyway, it does make sense that there's like the time frames below the daily set up, the daily to be set up in the most appropriate fashion to get on board with that daily post bearishness. But like, you also have to keep in mind where the next step lower time frames, aka the 8 and 7, are setting up the way they are, with how the 4-day time frame is set up. Like, yeah, it's poised for lower, but then the 2-day kind of suggests that it's slightly set up appropriately, which is a retrace to here, I think. And then anyway, drop into the 4 hour, which is the last time frame. We see that the 4 hour is poised for better bullishness, right? You kind of got this push to the upside came to an end here. It was likely to retrace, it didn't. Ensuing structure came in and dictated the in play out and push, starting from about here to be even more overextended, and then it came to an end here, and then this retrace came in, this push came to an end, this retrace is in play, this is the atom push that's in play. Slightly to just keep pushing to the upside, like I said, to around 226 to 626 region, as I said that. And anyway, you would then drop to the 15-minute, and oh god, I swear I got we got hit by oh my days, that is so gay. You can, like, that is literally my stop. So anyway, it's probably going to go in my favour now. It is what it is. Yeah, and then we're seeing this, and then we're seeing this kind of like overall leg, and then this was the most appropriate fib pull to then look for a reaction from, and then entering anyway. We get that on the 10 at 10. We've got a nice bar close, and obviously do the blue line sell method thing, and then also the entry technique where, like, if you can't get a 101 to the highs with the standard entry, enter at the place where you can, but also don't see the market trade up to about, like, my cutoff was about here, I think, and I was going to no longer look. I think it was actually about there-ish, actually, about there, where my crosshair, where the high of where the high of the arrow is, and then I was going to no longer look for here. Anyway, we got that, and then like, we placed the blue line sell method based on the initial entry, right? So not gonna, well, you can just assimilate it in your head here, and then you would put the low in, you'd look there, it's too sus, go there, which is exactly where we went, and stop down to the tick again. So yeah, it's better than just getting absolutely raped, basically. Like, for example, if you had your stop there and you just raped, and then goes in your favour, does show you that you're doing something right, I guess, but yeah, it's not good enough. So that was the trade today. But then if I go back to this, going over the same thing, but like assimilating the 1 hour as the monthly time frame, and therefore the 30-minute as the 2 week, the 15-minute as the daily, etc., etc. This is what I'm looking to possibly use. So or test anyway. So anyway, you've got the monthly setup, right? You've got this in play out and push. It's ensuing structure from here. Well, to be fair, comes to an end after this bar. This bar's kind of a bit iffy. Then this comes in, ensuing structure, and then kind of sets up again as done, based on where participants trade the way they do amongst the in-play previous, like, in-play and push before it came done, and then ensued, and then again ensued, and then from here, although it's overextended, it looks like it's going to continue. And the push doesn't look done, right? So you would mark up your monthly direction, your monthly, like, well, yeah, we'll just assimilate as the monthly. You'd mark up your monthly range from the low to the from the low to the, or rather from the close to the high, and then you drop to your next time frame, which would be the 2 week. And then you basically assess how that in play out and push is set up like. I'm gonna have to make a 30-minute template. Now, what I'm drawing here is just when, like, basically a 30-minute in-play arm pushes. This goes like this, comes lower, that would be that, and then this comes in, this, and then this comes in, pushes up, and this comes to an end. Here. This comes in, kind of suggested a done, ensuing structure comes done again here, trade is trading away, and then I would kind of classify that as that, and then this was here, and then here. So we kind of got some ensuing structure going on here, as I mentioned on the 1 hour. We also came to that conclusion of 30-minute too. Now the in-play 2 week and push, let's call it. I'm aware of what I'm saying. Is this, and it is likely to keep pushing higher, same as the 1 hour, right? So you would then, I know it's a 50-minute, but it's just going based off like the higher time frame forex strategy, but employing the same principles here. You would then be dropping. This would be the weekly, and you'll basically see whether the weekly is set up in a way that suggests that the 2 week and monthly suggested directions that each play out, or the market's likely to set up it in the appropriate fashion as to how it must do so first. And in this case, it doesn't, and it is likely that it's likely to push lower to basically retrace. And yeah, it's based on how trades traded like over 15-minute time, or rather, let's just call it weekly time durations. Suggested that the participants' interest to continue trading in that fashion is diminishing, and that the 2 week and monthly is likely to set up appropriately first, right, before pushing in that anticipated direction, but would keep that in mind with how next step lower time frames are set up too. So we'll drop to the 10, which is like dropping to the daily, no, I don't know, probably like the 4-day. Yeah. So, and then the 4-day is set up just to take hold bullishness, right? And just for the monthly and 2 week direction and just play out. Now, it will drop down again. We'll be dropping down to the equivalent of the. Well, what is the next day? That is it, the 8. Next, because obviously the 3 minutes. Does that close here? No. 6 doesn't. I doubt. Don't think it does anyway. Oh, it does. Okay, so the 6. That's yeah. To be fair, it would basically just be like using the 4-day and 2-day all the time. So yeah, the 10-day, the 10-minute is just poised to keep pushing higher, which is also backed by the 4-day, which is just like the take hold bullishness, right? But then keep dropping down. It's again with 5 minutes likely to keep pushing higher. Drop again. Don't even know what the equivalent of this would be. Which is why I need to go to the toilet 1 sec.